Hi, I'm Josh. I was born in poverty-laden Flint, Michigan to a blue-collar working family. I went from pulling weeds, washing dishes, and delivering pizzas to building a small business doing over $150,000 a month. I sold it and moved to Costa Rica with my wife and 4 kids. And on this podcast, we explore the secrets and the strategies that I used to win. Building your business is one of the hardest things you will ever do. So let me finally help you automate, grow, and someday sell your company. Hey guys, Josh here. So I'm at a baseball game today. It was like a Sandlot style little kid non-scripted game. My boys are playing when we're in Michigan right now. It's really cool because they haven't played baseball at all when we've been in Costa Rica for the last year, and they were really excited. And one of my wife's friends was sitting on the bench talking to her, talking about how, someone in her life is really negative about everything. And we all know people like this. It's like, and all of us can be negative at times. You're having a bad day and stuff, but some people, their default go-to paradigm, their lens that they view the world through is always like half empty, like the glass is half empty. And it's really tough. And I know some business people like this. I think in general, I don't really have any data to support this, but it seems like business owners are more optimistic than maybe just the general population. And maybe that's not correct at all, obviously. But it seems like you got to be somewhat optimistic to have a business. But what does happen sometimes when you're getting the crap beat out of you, when life is just smacking you down, which happens so much, especially with business in the first few years, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to hire people. You think you make good choices and it blows up in your face. People don't show up to work. Your checking account has no money in it. And one of the worst things is when you actually start to succeed and like you're booking work and you're doing $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, and then you have less money than you had when you did $5,000 or $6,000 a month. And it's very confusing. It can be emotionally stressful and discouraging. So you can start to become negative. And it's a trap, and it's a trick. And you want to be careful of it. So my wife's friend was saying how her mom, no matter when she talks to her mom, she's negative. When she drives home from work, she's like, "Hey, Mom, how was your day?" "Oh, work was so stressful, and I got stopped by the train on the way home, and then a deer ran out in front of me, and then this happened." And it's like the things that happened are not like cataclysmic events. Nothing actually bad happened, but every single time she asks her these questions, she always finds the most negative possible way to frame what happened to her that day. And it's funny because if you took a different person and put her shoes on that guy and he lived the same life as she did that day, he might describe it completely different. Like, well, work was really challenging today. I had some hurdles, but we got through it, and we're going to get through it the rest of this week, so that's good. And on the way home, a train stopped me, but it was cool because I noticed this new coffee shop that I never actually seen before. I'm going to check it out tomorrow. I'm going to leave a little early. And then a deer ran out in front of me, and I almost hit it, but thank God I missed it. Didn't even hit my car. So same scenario, 2 different outlooks, 2 different mentalities. And don't we have to be careful about the way we speak to ourselves, the way that we talk to ourselves? And, negativity bleeds into all the people around us. It bleeds into your company, your employees. You got to be really measured with your words and the way that you talk to people around you and the way that you talk to yourself. And there's a lot of times for me, even today, when I'm just hanging on by a thread, I'm very stressed, I'm kind of redlining, maybe I'm doing too much, but I still do everything I can to be positive, encouraging, optimistic to all the people around me. And when you do that, sometimes it feels inauthentic, or it feels like you're faking it, or that you're just lying or something. But you're not. You're making a decision to force yourself to see the bright side of the situation and the bright side in others. I think it's powerful. I see it as a major component in your own success, in your own happiness. I think it's very important. We don't do all this stuff to make money, right? We do this to win. If you're only chasing dollars, you're never going to be happy anyway, because whatever amount of dollars you have will become your new normal. And the moment you reach your goal, you'll just move the yardstick again. And the moment you reach that goal, you'll move the yardstick again. And when I look back at some of the hardest times in my life, I look at them with nostalgia. And I look fondly on some of the really hard times. Like, we used to do this marketing method called driveway bags, and we would take these plastic bags and put a postcard in them and drop a rock in it and then staple the bag shut. And we'd drive around at night and throw these things on people's driveways. And looking back on it, I kind of feel bad because we basically drove around and littered, like just threw a bunch of crap on people's driveways that they did not want. But they honestly worked pretty good. But it was such a pain in the butt to do those. I hated doing them. I forced myself to do them. Everybody that worked with me hated doing them. My wife hated doing. We would go out all night for hours and drive and throw these things. But now when I look back, I'm like, oh man, that was so great. But really it wasn't. But I look back on it like it was. So here's my point. When you're having a hard day and you just keep going, it's going to be okay. And when you look back later at the hard day that you're having right now, you're not going to view it as a hard day. You're going to say, that was just another day where I went through the fire, where I paid my dues, and look at where I am now, And so there's always reason to be positive and optimistic, especially in this country, man. Being in Costa Rica for the last year, there's a tendency for people to think that our life is so cool because we're in Costa Rica and I have a hammock outside my office and a beautiful house down there, and my office is like adjacent to my house, and I got my scooter, and all that stuff's cool, but it's been really hard. And like when I come back here from vacation, it's amazing, like the infrastructure, the stability of the power grid and the internet, the width of the roads when you drive, everything, like the amount of choices to buy consumer goods and to buy food and to go to restaurants. Everything here is so awesome. I think that's why a lot of foreigners that immigrate here, just their eyes are just so wide and they just see all this opportunity, and they'll work 100 hours a week and put their head down, and then they make a lot of money. And sometimes us as Americans forget that. We're negative. It's like maybe we have too much excessive luxury here. I can tell you, going away for a year, living a much simpler life in Costa Rica, I have identified a lot of the differences in my life between wants and needs. And we are so blessed in this country. It's unbelievable. So be positive. Don't be a bleeding, cancerous, gross cloud that just drips on the people around you. And if you are, just correct it. Just call yourself out. Try to pivot back into looking at the glass as being half full, because it is half full, okay? This isn't a mind trick. It actually is half full. And when you think it's half empty, you're just wrong. It's not half empty. So, hey, God bless you all. Take care. Give me a review on iTunes if you can. I would super greatly appreciate it. I'd consider it a personal favor. Tag your name in your review so I can reach out and thank you. That helps us get more downloads and spread the word. Hey, I'm Automate Josh, Joshua Latimer. You can check me out on my new website, automatejosh.com. Until next time, take care. Hey, thanks for hanging out, friends. And from all of us here at the Quick Talk Podcast team, we hope you loved today's show. We hope that you were inspired to become a doer and not just a listener. Apply what you've heard today in your own business and watch things change for the better. Lastly, remember that all the money in the world can't save your soul. Seek first the kingdom of God, my friends. We'll see you next time.
For more information about the Quick Talk Podcast or Joshua's other businesses, visit our website, quicktalkpodcast.com. Have a blessed day.